Happy New Year. It is officially 2025, so today we are talking all about some closed door, no spice romances that are coming out in this new year. We are going to start in January and work our way through the months chatting about all of these exciting new releases. Starting off with Hail Mary by Martha Keyes. This book comes out on January 15th, and it is the fourth and final book in her Shepherd series, which this one, along with all of the other ones in that series, can be found on Kindle Unlimited. This book is a football marriage of convenience romance between Tori and Luca. And I haven't read many football romances, so I'm really excited to pick this one up in the next week or two. Next, we have The Perfect Rom-Com by Melissa Ferguson. This one comes out February 1st. And it follows our female main character who goes to this conference kind of thing to try to get her manuscript sold. And she does a pitch. It doesn't go well. And she ends up offering, I think, to do some editing kind of work for this agent for him to look at her manuscript. And she does a good job. He hires her to be a ghostwriter. If in exchange, she'll do the ghostwriting if he'll work to sell her manuscript as well. This one sounds really fun. I love reading about authors and kind of the bookish world. I've read a few of Melissa Ferguson's other books and have really enjoyed them. And this one, I feel like the topics and the characters and stuff seem to maybe be even more relatable and stuff to me. So I feel like this one will be really fun, especially around Valentine's Day, reading about writing and writing romances and all of that. On February 11th, we have Get Lost With You by Sophie Sullivan. This is the second book in her Rock Bottom love series after Love Naturally, which came out last year. And this one follows our female main character, Jillian, who is a single mom. She's working to run Get Lost Lodge with her brother, which I believe is who the first book is about. And her brother ends up hiring Levi, this guy who comes back to town, as their chef for the lodge. And this one sounds really fun. I feel like it incorporates a lot of outdoorsy elements, which I really enjoy reading. I feel like especially in the springtime, so this will be so perfect around the time it's coming out and it's starting to warm up. And I've really just enjoyed everything I've read by Sophie Sullivan, so I'm really excited for this one as well. On March 13th, we have I Knew He Was Trouble by Amanda Schimmoeller. This is the first book in a new series called Sweeter Than Fiction that she's writing. And this one follows our female main character who is a dog walker and ends up getting hired by her neighbor to be a nanny for his niece for a few months while he has custody and is taking care of her. So she takes the job because the money will help her open her own dog rescue, which is her ultimate dream. So I believe this is just a fun enemies to lovers kind of neighbor nanny situation, and you can also read this one on Kindle Unlimited. Also in March, on March 27th, we have Secret or Shutout by Leah Brunner. This is the fourth book in her DC Eagles hockey romance series, and all I really know about this book is that it's Bruce's book, so I guess if you've read the series, then you probably know. I haven't read all the books yet, but they're on my winter TBR. I want to read a lot of hockey romance this winter, which if you're interested in, I am planning a whole closed door hockey romance video that will be coming soon, so definitely subscribe and stick around for that. But this is Bruce's book. It's the fourth book in the series, and they're all on Kindle Unlimited. On April 1st, we have If Tomorrow Never Comes by Allison Ashley. This book follows our female main character, Elliot, who has leukemia, and she has this magical night with a stranger where she kind of feels like she falls in love and then never sees this guy again. A year later, she meets the girl who donated the stem cells that helped put her leukemia in remission. And her boyfriend, who is none other than this guy from her magical night a year ago. This story is really interesting to me because I feel like these storylines are hard to write, but I've heard that she does a really great job with this book. And obviously there is cancer in this book, so if that is a trigger for you, I would not recommend reading this book, but I've heard that it is beautiful and emotional and just a really well done story. So I'm hoping to get to this, but I don't always love reading medical things like that. It gives me anxiety sometimes, but I've heard it's really well done, so I think I'm going to pick it up. Stay tuned. This book can also be found on Kindle Unlimited. Next, we have The Summer of You and Me by Denise Hunter. This one comes out April 22nd, And it follows our female main character, Maggie, who has lost her husband, and she goes home to spend the summer with his family in like his hometown. And while she's there, she runs into this man who looks exactly like Ethan, her husband. And so her and her brother-in-law, Josh, who has secretly been in love with her since he met her before she ever started dating his brother, go on this kind of mission together to find this guy, to find answers. So I really have enjoyed all of Denise Hunter's books that I've read. I've read a lot of them, and so I'm really excited about this one. On April 30th, we have Perfectly Faked by Grace Worthington. This is the second book in her hockey romance series. The first one is Perfectly Wedded, and both of these can be found on Kindle Unlimited. And in this one, our female main character is an ice skater. She's practicing her routine for nationals, and her dad has this bright idea that one of the guys on his hockey team needs community service hours. So why doesn't he help her practice her routine for his hours? And he's also her ex. So I think somehow they also end up fake dating. So it's like a fake dating with your ex with all the hockey. It sounds really fun. And again, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Moving into May, we have The Double Play by Annah coming out on May 6th. This is the fourth book, I believe, in her sports romance series, which has all different sports. And this one specifically is a baseball rom-com following Emmett and Hazel, and I believe it is a kind of grumpy sunshine situation. This one also, along with the whole series, can be found on Kindle Unlimited. Next, on May 20th, we have Katherine Sinter's new book, The Love Haters. I am a huge fan of Katherine Sinter, so I'm so excited about this book. This one follows our female main character, Kate, who is a video producer, and she takes this gig profiling a Coast Guard swimmer named Hutch, except she can't swim. And the description says it involves swim lessons, helicopter rides, conga lines, hurricanes, and stolen kisses. So honestly, it just sounds like the perfect summery, beachy romance, but I also know that Katherine Sinter always packs in the emotion and the deeper themes in her books, and I can't wait to read this one. Last in May, on May 27th, we have It's a Love Story by Annabel Monaghan. This is her new book that follows Jane, who was on a sitcom growing up, and now she's like a creative executive. She's working on this project, and she tells a little white lie that she can get this guy Jack, who is like a famous singer, to write a song for her project, but she actually hasn't talked to him in like 20 years. So she ends up enlisting the help of this guy, Dan, that she knows, who has an in with this pop star guy. And I don't know what happens from there, but I have really enjoyed all of the Annabel Monaghan books that I've read. They're a good mix of women's fiction with romance, and they're a good length, and I am really excited to read this one this summer. In June, on June 3rd, we have Worth Fighting For by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This is the fifth book, I believe, in the Meant to Be series, which are all like princess retellings. So this one specifically is a Mulan contemporary romance retelling. On June 10th, we have Everything's Coming Up Rosie by Courtney Walsh. This one follows Rosie, who has lost her apartment, she's lost her job. She's just in one of those seasons where she's struggling, she doesn't really know what to do. And she ends up taking this job directing a regional theater production of Cinderella, except when she gets there, she finds out that it's a retirement community that's putting on this production. And I just personally love like everything that Courtney Walsh writes, and I'm so excited to read this one about like the theater world specifically because I grew up doing theater. I love that, and I feel like it's something that I haven't been able to tap into very much personally after, graduating, being an adult. It's not something I really do anymore, so I'm so excited to read this one. I feel like it's going to be so fun, very uplifting and wholesome, and I just cannot wait for this new book. On July 15th, we have The Sands of Sea Blue Beach by Rachel Hauck. This one follows our female main character, Emery, who moves back to this Florida beach town to be the editor-in-chief of a local paper. And then around the same time, Caleb, who is an architect, moves there to take care of his nephew and also lead this kind of historical society. And so this is a second chance, like beachy romance, and it just sounds really fun, perfect for the summer, and I've really enjoyed everything I have read by this author so far. On August 5th, we have If All Else Sails by Emma St. Clair. This is an enemies to lovers romance where our female main character Josie was supposed to go on this trip with her brother Jacob, and he somehow tricks her into not going on the trip but helping his best friend Wyatt recover from this foot surgery he had to have. And he's a hockey player, so that's how he hurt his foot. And she learns that this like injury he has kind of ruined his plans of sailing down the East Coast Intracoastal Waterway. So she decides that they're going to do that. She's going to help him. And so they go on this like fun summer sailing trip together. And this one sounds, again, so perfect for the summer, so fun to just be on a boat and it just be the two of them. And it just sounds like the perfect summer read. Rounding off this list with two YA romances. First we have While We're Young by K.L. Walther. This comes out March 4th. And it follows four friends in this romance inspired by Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So they have this big epic senior skip day. And it sounds so fun. It's set in Philadelphia, I believe, so it would be so fun to read, especially if you live there or are like traveling there. But also if you're just a senior or if you're feeling nostalgic for being a senior or if you just want a fun, I feel like fast-paced YA romance, this one will be so fun to pick up in March. Last but not least, I came across this a couple of weeks ago and haven't been able to find out a ton of information, but Lynn Painter said she is releasing a YA hockey romance in October of this year. So I'll put the picture here that she posted and commented this on, but that's all I know, but I am so excited about this one. And that is the end of my Closed Door No Spice 2025 romance release list. I would love it if you would comment down below what 2025 release you are most excited about, especially if it's closed door. And I am also posting a whole video that is just other genres and non-closed door romances coming out in 2025 that I'm excited about. So definitely subscribe and stick around if you want to see that video as well. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, friends.